our land to replace us as voters. And this is being done under the Democratic Party. And I could care less about either one of those parties. But the Republicans are not in office now. All of this is being done under the Democratic Party, Joe Biden, Priska, and Brandon Johnson. They are in our communities. They are in our communities. They are here to stay because the government of the United States is doing everything they can to make them successful. Now, we all know how we got here. We came here in the bowels of ships. We are descendants of enslaved Africans who built this country. 240 years of slavery, 90 years of Reconstruction, and 40 years of Jim Crow up to this point. And so what they're doing, and this is being done with the help of black politicians. We need to understand they could not do this without these black faces. And these are selected, and we elected these black faces because they're black. And they are they are just as big a bigger threat to us as racism and white supremacy. Because if these people were white, we would be challenging these people. We would be in their faces. But because it's Brandon Johnson, because it's those 20 black aldermen down there, we are not saying a word. You have 20 black aldermen in the city council. They can't do anything in city council without the help of these black aldermen. We have enough black aldermen down there to stop anything. And when Rahm Emanuel put this plan together, the New Americans plan for immigrants, only immigrants. If you read that plan, there's not one word in there about black people. So you're talking about the new Americans. Well, what about the old Americans? What about us, who we've never gotten what we should have gotten in this country? They owe us reparations. And according to Dr. Sandy Darity, to do that, they would have to spend $16 trillion. $16 trillion to give us what we want. But no, they're not doing it. So they're bringing these folks in here because they're giving them permits. They're going to be working. Then they're going to get licensed. And then they're going to become voters. So I'm afraid as to what Chicago is going to look like, not a year from now, but 6 months from now. They're all over. They have all these white landlords in our communities who have abandoned these buildings, since we've been talking about land, who have abandoned these buildings. Now they're opening these buildings up and they're paying these white landowners, landlords, millions of dollars to house these people. And we've been talking around 79th and Essex, I think it is, 70 around in that area. But that's just the beginning. That's just the beginning. And as my Sister Erica has always been saying, we need to go and take over these buildings. We are going to have to do some radical things because we're living through some radical changes. And we're sitting back as if nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. And it is happening. And these middle class black folks who think that they made it, and I talk to a lot of them, they don't see anything wrong with it. They supporting the migrants, but then they want to down our people who are sleeping on the street. 54% of the people who are homeless in this city are black. 18 to 20,000 black children, veterans. And you're spending all this money on drug dealers, on prostitutes, on gangsters, because that's what Venezuela and Mexico and the Latin American countries have done. They have let their worst out of these jails. They are in here. We are in danger. The cartel, MS-13. Now you got the Venezuelan gang. We are in trouble, and we're acting like nothing is going on. And I'm just sick to my stomach because of the lack of involvement. Because you got a cool black man down there in office running this city, and so you don't want to say anything. Right. So we've been working. We have a flyer out now with all those aldermen's pictures and names on them who voted against us being able to vote down a sanctuary city. They violated the 65 voting rights, 1965 voting rights act, when they voted it down, did not allow us to cast our vote and say whether or not we want sanctuary city or not. They have no right to do that, but they did. So we're targeting those aldermen. If you want to change this, we have got to get these people out of office. I don't care what we do or what we say. If we don't organize and remove these people out of office, it's not going to make any difference. They're doing exactly what these white people are telling them to do. Brandon, his panic attack, he's going to have some more panic attacks. I want him to have a whole lot of them, because that's what he deserves. These people have not fought for, Brandon Johnson, none of them have fought for anything. That was a struggle in this country. Black folks have been fighting ever since we got here. And they are not even protecting what we have fought for, what we want. They are giving it away. They're not trying to protect us and keep what we have. That is what's so disgusting about this to me. You haven't fought for a doggone thing. You just walked into the position. And you don't have the courage, you don't have the knowledge, you don't have the history to say, you know what, this is what my ancestors fought for, I'm going to protect it. You're giving it away to everybody, to them damn Mexicans and the Puerto Ricans down there. That's what they're doing. So we're going to have to start thinking about taking these people out. We've got to remove these black politicians. And we need to remove some of these religious leaders who have sold us out. Some of the educated, the AKAs and the deltas and all the sororities and the fraternities who have not stood up for us. They have all sold us out. And that's what we get. And that's the message and the word that we got to spread around this city. All of these people have sold us out. Middle class blacks don't want to have anything to do with poor black people. They're just, if some of them that I know, if I were not looking at them, I would think they're white. The way they talk about black people. I mean, this is real. And we are in trouble, and I am scared.
Sister, I want to thank you.
I am scared. And I just want to thank you all. But let's carry this message. Let's start organizing to get rid of these people who are selling us, have sold us out, and try to hold on to the little we still have left.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you can apply for that, baby.
Live on